Yeah. The book is called, what's Cash's book called? Forgot. Anywho, but his idea of permanent government makes sense. He goes, I deal with it in New York City, but it also exists on a federal level. He goes, there are department heads for every department in New York City. There's the sanitation department, et cetera. These people are not elected, and they've been there for 35 years. So they look at a mayor and they're like, yo, you're here, you'll be gone.
In this video, Andrew Schulz and Charlemagne discuss New York Mayor Eric Adams' case. Andrew Schulz explains how the federal government came after Eric Adams due to his comments about immigration. With that, let's watch Andrew Schulz school Charlemagne on the use of lawfare by the Democrat Party as evidenced by their case against Eric Adams.
Mayor Adams is free.
Yo.
Shout out Mayor Adams. He came on a pod. Mayor Adams is awesome, dude.
What'd you think of Mayor Adams?
Awesome.
Is he running again?
Yep. Yeah.
He is going to run again. He said that on the pod?
Yeah.
Because I heard he was going to announce. They said he was going to announce on Thursday, so I guess he knew the charges were probably getting dropped today.
That's probably
Yeah.
But he was a great hang. Like, he's a fun dude. He's a New Yorker. It was cool to hear his perspective on all the bribery charges. Like, we asked him all the questions.
Yeah.
And just like the state of the city. And but yeah, the kid used to squeegee people's windshields as a kid.
Yeah.
Or the dude, the mayor, and then to go from squeegeeing people's windshields into being the mayor of New York City is a pretty amazing achievement.
I didn't watch the whole interview yet. I watched the clip. I thought it was very interesting that he admitted there's a deep state.
Bro, I
thought it was interesting that he admitted that he felt like it was after he criticized the Biden administration, then they hit him with those charges.
Immediately.
So tell us what happened with the migrant crisis.
Oh, great question. So let's talk about the migrants. This cost us $7 billion. This was the tipping point where I decided I got to publicly criticize the Biden administration.
Yeah. So listen, and I don't want to get conspiratorial. After you come out, all of a sudden, the Justice Department looks into Eric Adams. And there's this thing about Turkish Airlines, right? Do you think there's any connection to those two things?
You're darn right I do.
Do you know who you think it came from? Like,
that's a great question. And I don't want to sound conspiracy theory, but there's a permanent government.
Is this like what people refer to? And I think this word has been used too much, but like the deep state or whatever it is.
It's not used too much. It's real, brother. Mayors come and go. Presidents come and go. Governors come and go. Permanent government is real. And whoever's trying to act like it's not real, they're lying.
In that last little bit there of Eric Adams talking, did he tell a single lie? Look, man, I've got no love lost for Democrats, but prior to even watching this just now, I have to admit, and this is the reason it's important for both sides to talk to one another with hopefully, or have interviews with somewhat neutral guys like Andrew, even though I'd say he leans right, but he was really respectful and, didn't try to get into partisan politics. The reason I think that's so important is, again, I'm not a fan of any Democrat, but Eric Adams, I got to say, when he was interviewed, he answered every question. And you saw some of the answers right there he gave. Those were no BS answers. Those aren't typical Democrat answers. And if someone like me, who can't stand Democrats to the depths of his soul, can say, wow, I heard Eric Adams talk, and I got to admit, he's a likable guy. I can see how the guy could get elected. I also think I went in to hearing that conversation, though, with a little empathy for him, because I do believe he was railroaded by the Biden administration in the ultimate example of what we all know. You will be the golden child of the Democrats until you diverge with them on any topics. The second he criticized the Democrat Party, it was very conspicuous how quickly the DOJ wanted to start investigating him. And when have you heard many politicians, much less a Democrat admit that there's a deep state? Because the deep state, it's made up of a lot of Democrats. That's the uniparty. There are some rhinos in there too, and some never Trumpers and your Mitch McConnells, but it is heavily filled with Democrats. And for him to acknowledge there's a deep state, I don't think I've ever heard a Democrat say that. And I keep calling him a Democrat. He's now independent because he had to learn the hard way how duplicitous the Democrat Party is. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
Really want to know more about what he means by permanent government.
Well, I was trying to ask him, and throughout the interview, he's just like, read Kash Patel's book. You know Kash.
Yeah.
He's like, read Kash Patel's book. He explained, I'm like, who are these people? He goes, just read Kash Patel's book. He explains it. He'll talk about these people. I think he was like genuinely concerned to out certain individuals. But his idea of permanent government.
Let me look that up.
Yeah. The book is called, what's Kash's book called? Forgot. Anywho, But his idea of permanent government makes sense. He goes, I deal with it in New York City, but it also exists on a federal level. He goes, there are department heads for every department in New York City. There's the sanitation department, et cetera. These people are not elected, and they've been there for 35 years. So they look at a mayor and they're like, yo, you're here, you'll be gone. We don't really gotta respect you. Like, we're here for ever, and you're here for a little bit.
Yeah.
Government gangsters.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Permanent government refers to the body of career officials, civil servants, and institutions that continue to operate regardless of changes in political leadership or ruling parties. It's also sometimes called the bureaucracy, our administrative state, or the deep state, right?
Yeah, so the nefarious actors, they would argue, are called the deep state. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, we don't know who those people are. Here's the thing. We need to have like an honest conversation about this. In order to function as a country that changes its leader every 4 years, you need something that's kind of permanently operating.
But isn't that what law should be? Like the Constitution?
Of course. But like, imagine you had to literally rehire every department every time a new administration came in. So Trump comes in, and then everybody within the Department of Education is fired and rehired, retrained on all the things.
I don't know what they're doing now.
But imagine every single department.
No,
We're talking about like tens of
that.
thousands of people fired and rehired every 4 years. Like, what people would even sign up for that? Like, you're going to quit your job for potentially 4 years of work, and then
If you like watching videos like this one, like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Let's get back to the video.
department that then you could be removed and maybe you're making $100,000. Like, I get it. In order for a country to function long term, right, to have a plan for 30 years from now, you need something there. The problem is a lot of those positions are positions of power and influence that are not democratically elected. So they're making decisions they're making decisions about us based on whatever they feel most comfortable.
Yeah, that's what it says. One of the key characteristics of permanent government is, unlike politicians, these individuals are not chosen
Exactly.
through elections. All I'm realizing, man, is a lot of this shit is, well, not a lot of it. It's just all an illusion then. I mean, we've always said that, but it's just like, yo, there's no real figurehead. The president, well, maybe now, but the president, until now, the president of the United States of America has always just been a figurehead.
Now, don't
like
get me wrong. They still have a lot of like power. Like, they can decide to go to war and they can murder, millions of people. Like, these horrible things happen all the time.
But isn't Cash going to go after them?
No, I'm not talking about deep state. I'm talking about presidents. Presidents still have tons of power.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that
But who tells them to go to war?
well, honestly, Adams on the pod, he even said this shit. He was like, because he was meeting with Biden and Biden's people about the migrant stuff. And he didn't come out until he kept asking them for things and they refused to give him. So he goes, because he broke it down really well. He's like, listen, immigration is a federal responsibility. Mm-hmm. Keeping the border closed is
Yeah, Andrew's right. It is a federal responsibility. And that's a problem, frankly, that the Trump administration is running into. It's not a problem they can't handle, but a problem they're running into is these Democrat governors, mayors, whatever, are trying to virtue signal how they're a sanctuary city and illegal immigrants are somehow good for their city or state. And they're instructing their local law enforcement not to work with the federal government. I mean, how petty and power hungry do you have to be to go out of your way to tell your law enforcement, hey, don't work with the federal government, to get people that are here illegally, many of whom have committed other crimes while they're here? Yeah, don't work with them. And no matter what they say, it's not because they think it's beneficial. It's purely to oppose the opposition party. Yet another thing we see with Democrats all the time, their decisions are never based on what's best for the people. It's based on the party line or their own emotions. But some of the arguments and hurdles that the Democrats put up blow my mind. And I'm not as shocked that they do it. I'm more shocked that the people accept it and their constituents keep voting for them. Because not only are they running their city into the ground, but they're doing things that are just obviously not right. Not working with the federal government who funds your city with billions of dollars, or your state, to what? Prove a point of how nice you are to people that are in our country illegally? And obviously all the larger reasons like creating a new voter base and giving them free shit. But these people, and by these people, I mean Democrats, they're just shameless, man. Anyway, let's wrap it up.
Is a federal responsibility. It's not a state responsibility. So when they're sending 4,000 migrants a day up in buses from Texas to New York, right? And then I'm going, hey, we need funding for this. And they go, you can take it out of whatever you have already. He goes, hold on. Why should I have to pay, the city have to pay for a federal issue? Like, that doesn't make sense to him.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like,
So even when they said, so when they were saying they were sanctuary states, that was all local stuff. That wasn't.
well, I think the
funding.
state decides to be a sanctuary state. I don't
Okay.
know if they receive federal funding for being a sanctuary state, but like the state decides to be, and even the sanctuary shit, there's a difference between sanctuary state and right to housing. So like, if you have a right to housing, which New Yorkers do, that's for homeless people. That's not for migrants.
Yes.
And basically, as a political move, Texas was trying to like show the northern states that seem to have strong opinions about immigration, yet don't deal with it
Don't
at
deal
all.
with it 100%.
And I get that perspective too.
I said it was genius when it happened. Everybody got mad at me. All I was, like, oh, Charlamagne playing both sides. No, I just like strategy.
It worked.
Nothing about what Greg Abbott or Ron DeSantis did was unscrupulous when they sent busloads of immigrants to quote unquote sanctuary cities. Because it's easy to say you're a sanctuary city when not that many immigrants really come to your state. But the second that busloads of a small percentage of the immigrants that come into this country went to New York and these other cities, you would have thought the sky was falling. They were freaking out. They didn't know how to handle it. So I don't know if it's changed under the Trump administration. I know he's withholding federal funds from states that don't abide by executive orders, but in my opinion, sanctuary cities should get no financial help from the federal government. And the federal government is within its rights to go into that state if the leadership doesn't work with them and do what they need to keep the country safe. Get rid of dangerous illegal immigrants or illegal immigrants in general. Even though I know people want to whine about that. If you came into this country illegally, you're a criminal. Sorry, lefties. But what do you guys think? Did you see the interview on the Flagrant podcast with Eric Adams? Do you think, in fact, he was targeted by the Biden administration because he spoke up? Or do you have any other thoughts on the Eric Adams case? Let us know in the comments. Anyway, as always, really appreciate you watching, and we will see you on the next one.